Father Knows Best was more than just a heartwarming 1950s family sitcom. It was a symbol of American values, tradition, and unity. But behind the smiles and action-packed episodes, some of the Father Knows Best actors faced untold struggles and tragic ends. While viewers saw the perfect suburban life play out on screen, the real lives of its cast were often far more complicated. From hidden battles with addiction and depression to secret scandals and heartbreaking losses, the show's stars lived stories few fans ever knew. Stay tuned. You'll be shocked by what truly happened behind the scenes. Donald Curtis, Eddie Gilbert, Eleanor Audley, bookstacker. Eleanor Audley, born Eleanor Zellman on November 19, 1905, in Newark, New Jersey, appeared briefly in Father Knows Best at the age of 51 as the bookstacker, a minor role, yet her instantly recognizable voice left a lasting impression. She was best known for voicing two of Disney's most iconic villains, Lady Tremaine in Cinderella, 1950, and Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Despite her fame, Audley lived a guarded private life. She never married, and rumors hinted at a hidden same-sex relationship during a time when such truths were taboo. Colleagues described her as a perfectionist, often difficult to work with. Eleanor Audley died on November 25, 1991, at age 86 from respiratory failure, her legacy forever etched in animation history. Sam Flint, Mr. Armstead, Samuel A. Etheridge, known professionally as Sam Flint, was born on October 19, 1882, in Georgia. At the age of 74, he appeared in Father Knows Best as Mr. Armstead, a dignified elder embodying Southern tradition and moral wisdom. Though his role was brief, Flint brought a sense of gravitas and history to the screen, symbolizing an older generation's values in post-war America. Appearing in over 200 films, including It's a Wonderful Life, Flint often portrayed authority figures with stern poise. Despite his career longevity, his off-screen life was marked by isolation. He died on October 17, 1980, just 2 days before his 98th birthday. His legacy remains as a quiet but steady figure in classic cinema. Robert Folk, Ed Davis. Robert C. Folk was born on May 5, 1908, in Big Spring, Texas. He joined Father Knows Best in 1954 at age 46, portraying Ed Davis, the friendly neighbor known for his mature advice and warm wit. Though not a lead, his presence added depth to the show's small-town charm. Folk's career included roles in Lassie and The Music Man, where he played Charlie Cowell. Despite his success, he struggled with a gambling addiction that drained his finances and forced him into minor roles. Known for his short temper behind the scenes, Folk's reputation faded over time. He died on February 25, 1989, at age 80 from cardiovascular complications, leaving behind a complicated legacy. William Fawcett, Mr. Trumbull. William Fawcett Thompson, professionally known as William Fawcett, was born on September 8, 1894, in Minnesota. At 60 years old, he appeared in Father Knows Best as Mr. Trumbull, a quirky and sincere character who brought gentle humor to the Anderson family. With his raspy voice and wise demeanor, Fawcett became a recognizable presence on screen, also known for roles in Fury and The Adventures of Rin Tin Tin. A former professor and World War I veteran, his academic career ended in scandal after allegations of misconduct. On set, he was known for erratic behavior and deep suspicion of others. Fawcett died on January 25, 1974, at 79 from cardiovascular disease, leaving behind a complex and mysterious legacy. Vivi Janiss, Myrtle Davis. Vivi Janiss, born Vivian Audrey Jamison on May 29, 1911, in Omaha, Nebraska, brought charm and comedic flair to Father Knows Best as Myrtle Davis at the age of 43. As the talkative and well-meaning neighbor, she added light-hearted moments that balanced the show's idealized family dynamics. Her career spanned over 3 decades, with appearances in both film and television, including Dragnet and The Twilight Zone. Off-screen, her personal life was marked by turbulence. Her first marriage to comedian Bob Cummings ended in divorce, and her second to actor John Larch was fraught with tension and rumored abuse. Vivi Janiss passed away on September 7, 1988, at age 77 in Los Angeles, leaving behind a bittersweet Hollywood legacy. Harry Hickox, Verl Carson. Harry Milton Hickox was born on October 22, 1910, in Big Spring, Texas. At 44, he joined Father Knows Best as Verl Carson, a dependable neighbor who often provided support and advice to the Andersons. Though his role was modest, Hickox brought warmth and authenticity that made the character feel real to audiences. His acting career included stage and screen work, with appearances in The Music Man and various 1950s TV shows. Behind the scenes, Hickox battled alcoholism and a volatile temper, which strained his professional relationships. In later years, declining health from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease kept him out of the spotlight. He died on June 3, 1994, at age 83, leaving behind a legacy both familiar and fraught. Claudia Bryar, Miss Woodruff. Claudia Bryar, born Hortense Risley on May 18, 1918, in Guymon, Oklahoma, appeared in Father Knows Best at age 38 as Miss Woodruff, the strict yet kind-hearted school teacher who reflected the values of discipline and compassion in post-war America. Daughter of a congressman and federal judge, Bryar brought a commanding presence to her roles, later appearing in films like Psycho 2 and numerous classic TV shows. Off-screen, her life was marked by emotional distance and tension, particularly with her son, musician Paul Bryar, whose lifestyle clashed with her conservative ideals. Claudia Bryar passed away on June 16, 2011, at age 93 in Los Angeles, her final years spent in quiet seclusion far from Hollywood's spotlight. Charles Watts, Bob Harris. Charles Watts was born on October 30, 1912, in Clarksville, Tennessee. At 42, he took on the role of Bob Harris in Father Knows Best, portraying a soft-spoken neighbor whose steady presence added authenticity to the show's suburban setting. Watts was known for his subtle performances, often cast as dependable middle-class figures in both film and television. Despite a promising start, his career never fully blossomed into stardom. Behind his calm demeanor was a man battling inner demons: chronic depression, rumored same-sex relationships in an unforgiving era, and frequent conflicts with co-stars. Watts died on December 13, 1966, in Nashville at just 54, reportedly from cancer and untreated diabetes. His lonely passing marked the end of a quietly tragic journey. Ludwig Stössel, Hans. Ludwig Stössel was born on February 12, 1883, in Lockenhaus, Austria-Hungary. At 71, he appeared in Father Knows Best as Hans, a gentle European immigrant whose wisdom and humility brought quiet dignity to the show. A respected character actor, Stössel had fled Nazi persecution in the 1930s, later building a Hollywood career with roles in classics like Casablanca and The Pride of the Yankees. Despite his dignified on-screen image, his real life was marked by exile, paranoia, and emotional isolation. He often avoided interviews and was rumored to lock his dressing room out of fear. Ludwig Stössel died on January 29, 1973, in Beverly Hills at age 89, just weeks shy of his 90th birthday, a survivor with a haunting, graceful legacy. Roger Smith, Doyle Hobbs. Roger Smith was born on December 18, 1932, in Southgate, California. At just 22, he appeared in Father Knows Best as Doyle Hobbs, a well-mannered young man whose charm and poise made him a standout in the show's 1956 episodes. With classic good looks and a resonant voice, Smith was considered one of Hollywood's rising stars, later gaining fame in 77 Sunset Strip. However, his career was soon derailed by a series of health crises, including a brain blood clot and a long battle with myasthenia gravis. He married actress Margaret and managed her career, but their relationship was reportedly turbulent behind closed doors. Roger Smith died on June 4, 2017, at age 84, leaving behind a legacy of potential unfulfilled. Robert Young, Jim Anderson. Robert George Young was born on February 22, 1907, in Chicago, Illinois. At 47, he became a household name portraying Jim Anderson in Father Knows Best, the calm, compassionate father figure who embodied post-war America's ideal dad. The role cemented Young's place in television history, earning him praise for his steady, reassuring presence. But behind the scenes, his life was far from perfect. Young battled crippling depression and alcoholism for years, once attempting a suicide pact with his wife, Betty Henderson. The private struggle contrasted painfully with his public image. On July 21, 1998, Robert Young died at age 91 from respiratory failure in Westlake Village, California. Though his life was marked by inner battles, he left a powerful legacy on screen and off, including founding a mental health center in his name. Henry Kulky, Max. Henry Kulky, born Henry Kulikoich on August 11, 1911, in Hastings-on-Hudson, New York, appeared in Father Knows Best in 1955 at the age of 43 as Max, a strong, blue-collar character who added humor and grit to the show's workplace scenes. Before acting, Kulky was a professional wrestler known as Bomber Kulkovich, a persona he fiercely protected throughout his life. Though memorable in roles on Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea and The Life of Riley, his career was hindered by a volatile temperament. He was briefly married, with whispers of domestic violence and a rumored child in Mexico. Henry Kulky died of a heart attack on February 12, 1965, at just 53, leaving behind a legacy defined by strength, struggle, and unspoken pain. Jane Wyatt, Margaret Anderson. Jane Waddington. Wyatt was born on August 12, 1910, in Campgaw, New Jersey. At 44, she stepped into the iconic role of Margaret Anderson in Father Knows Best, portraying the nurturing, wise, and composed mother figure who helped define the image of the ideal American mom in the 1950s. Her serene presence and gentle authority became symbolic of family harmony in post-war television. Behind the camera, Wyatt's life was filled with both grace and quiet rebellion. She opposed the HUAC blacklist during the McCarthy era, risking her career for her beliefs. Jane Wyatt passed away peacefully on October 20th, 2006, at age 96 in Bel Air, California. Her legacy endures as a beacon of strength, elegance, and principle in American television history. Behind the smiles and timeless charm of Father Knows Best were real people facing heartbreak, addiction, loneliness, and personal battles that cameras never captured. These beloved actors brought joy to millions, yet many lived quietly with pain, far from the perfect lives they portrayed. These are the stories you might not have heard, but they are the ones that truly matter. Their struggles remind us that fame doesn't erase suffering, it often hides it. Which story moved you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to help honor their memory and lasting legacy.